Okay. Can you state your name again, please?
Should I record mine too?
Sure.
Super. Hold on, let me get my phone. Hold on. My name is Sergeant Nikole.Kasparek, Clearwater Police Department, Sergeant in Internal Affairs. And who am I speaking with?
Justin Nairi.
Justin, you and I have met before.
Have we?
About you before.
Have we?
About your voice. Yes, I used to be the Marine Patrol Supervisor out on Clearwater Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yep. What can I do for you today, Mr. Justin?
I've had multiple internal affairs reports for about a year and a half on the Clearwater Police Station on multiple. I just recently talked to the FBI for them to finally do something about the ones where I got beat up on the motorcycle.
Okay.
I'd like to have every internal affairs report that I reported so far.
Okay. So it's called a public request, and you can do it online. Do you have access to the internet?
Yes.
Okay. It's on GovQA. Let me get you the exact. Give me just 2 seconds. Let me pull up. So I want to make sure I'm giving you the exact website here. Give me 2 seconds. But you can make a public records request online. Clearwater Police. Hold on. I'm sorry it's taking so long. Apparently my internet is running very slowly.
Are you talking about the one where you FOIA it?
What, I'm sorry?
Where you FOIA it? Freedom of Information Act?
I don't know what FOIA is.
Freedom of Information Act.
No, it's a website. If you go into myclearwater.com and you look at the website and it says "How do I?" and you click on it and it says "Request."
Oh yeah, I think they've already got that. I was just seeing if there's a faster, quicker way for me to do this because
No, I'm sorry. So if you've already submitted that, because it goes through GovQA where it gets vetted and it gets categorized. So every time that you make a request, just so that they can make sure that they're fulfilling the request for the needs that whoever is requesting whatever they need, and that there's a way for them to communicate back and forth in case there's clarity needed beyond that request. So if you've already submitted that stuff, then it's just time for them to get the documents together for you. Have you received any correspondence email from anybody in our records?
No, that's what I was also going to ask next. I was like, every report that I've ever done, I've never heard back from. I never got an official letter on any of it or anything like that, official email.
As far as an internal affairs complaint?
Yeah.
Was it done through my office, or was it done by, do you know if it was conducted by a supervisor? Because there's supervisors that work the road with the officers, and then there's my office.
Yeah, I've done it with internal affairs. I've done it with the you guys call your office professional standards, right?
The professional standards. Yeah, the same thing. It's internal affairs. Well, that's interesting because I haven't handled any of your cases while I've been in this office, so I don't have any privy knowledge to that. But how long ago did you make the request for those files?
I just made it on the 6th because like I said, I finally got a hold of the FBI. And I've got another incident I'd like to report also today with internal affairs, just so I know you guys aren't going to do anything, but it's, I've got a paper trail that I've got to keep up now. On the 26th last month, well, actually this started before, I've also got an internal affairs from being kicked off a public sidewalk 4 months ago that I have on video. I was at the North Island Bar and Grill, standing on the sidewalk, talking to a friend, showing him a pipe that I just bought down the street. She said, "Just, you can't do this." At this bar, I said, "I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not in your bar." And then she called the police, and the police escorted me and trespassed me from a public sidewalk. Okay. Now, if there isn't a report on that right now, I'd like to make one now because I've called a million people on that since that happened. And
do you remember about when that happened?
August 26th, I want to say. Or 27th or 28th. Either between 26th and 28th of August. North Island Bar and Grill over there on Mandalay Avenue. No, the one right next to the speedway. Yeah, Beachfire is the one right down.
All right, I'll take a look into that for you. And so your complaint was that you got trespassed from there?
Yeah, that's already been one, but it goes farther than that. And then it went down another time. They called the police.
That one sounded familiar because I remember watching video for that one. I think that somebody else was handling that complaint. But anyways.
Yeah. They said he did no wrongdoing. They found out, complained on that. But if that's not internal affairs, I'd still like to have that in internal affairs. Because I called everybody on that, supervisors, corporals, lieutenants. And I tried to explain to them that, and I don't know how you guys, most of you cops don't know that that's a public sidewalk that I'm allowed to be there.
It is, except that the easement of the, and actually I do remember looking at this because somebody asked me to pull up the property appraiser's mapping for that, and part of that sidewalk is controlled by that bar.
Part of it, but also here.
Hold on, Justin, hold on. Where you were when the officers had showed up is that your bag, I think, was leaning up against the, I guess call it the bar wall that lines the sidewalk right there. So you were actually standing on their easement.
Well, it was still on. The bag is even on video that it's on the sidewalk, and even if it isn't in their area, that still has to be roped off, fenced off, or blocked off in some type of way.
Well, according to our code enforcement, because I called them on that, they said that is not true.
I looked it up online through your city's website. I'll show you in black and white.
I'm just telling you what they told me.
Well, that's just because everybody else would have to do it. I'm not trying to stress that either. I just don't want barred from. But he didn't kick. He pushed me off into the street. Now I could have stayed a couple feet back from there. You could have said, "Well, get your bag and get a couple feet back." Mm-hmm. He could have said that, but he didn't.
But that's not what the bar person who was ever working the bar that day. That's not what they wanted. They actually wanted you to leave the area.
Exactly, and you can't do that. If I want to stand on a public sidewalk, I'm allowed to stand there.
Sure.
Peacefully.
As long as you're not being antagonistic.
Yeah, and I was being peaceful.
Not the body camera I saw. You were being less than peaceful.
I've got it taped on myself also. like he's trying to demand things. Like he's trying to demand my ID from me. He's trying to make me leave a public sidewalk. Yes, I'm upset at that point. I'm upset that the bar manager would even try to do something like that.
Correct. So now that we agreed that you got a little escalated because you got upset.
Okay, and once again,
so that you didn't trip into like a disorderly conduct type of deal because there were patrons.
And I didn't yell, I didn't holler, I didn't do anything. But he kept on. He's the one who threatened me, not me threatening anybody or me being out of line or me yelling. I have it on video also. I watched my video over just before I called you.
That's great. Okay, so Justin, you made your GovQA request, so you're just waiting for them to get your materials together.
Like I said, I do have another complaint stemming from that. That's the first time it happened. And the second time showed up. I was talking to a friend once again. The cops she called the cops. My friend heard them. She said, "Justin, get out of there calling the cops." I said, "All right." So I left, called the police, and I said, "I've already handled the supervisors, everybody else. I'm allowed to stand on that sidewalk, blah, blah, blah." The dispatch told me to go back to the bar. So I did, and I stood right on the edge of the corner of the sidewalk. Cop showed up. I said, "Okay." I called. Can I talk? No, they called. So he goes and talks to them first, and he comes up real tough and mean, and it tells me he wants my ID. I said, "I'm not giving up my Fourth Amendment right. I didn't do anything." Trespassing. I was like, "Where did you see me standing when you showed up?" "Right here. That's not trespassing." He's like, "I get you for loitering." I said, "Loitering is time, manner, and place. You can't get me for that either." You know, everything he tried to do. Then I said, "Am I being detained?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, then get your supervisor." Once the supervisor showed up, we cleared everything up. It was a 30-day ban. Okay. He said, "Justin, if you really like this bar," because he cooled out. He started to act like a nice guy, literally, afterwards. And so did the supervisor. And I turned my video off on that, because they're acting cool. So I'm like, okay, you guys are actually being pretty cool, And he was like, "I'll tell you what, you like this place so much." He was like, "I'll try to get you the 30 days back, because she's trying to bar me for life now, supposedly, at this point, right?" And he was like, "Okay, I got back to 30.
You made a real friend at the bar.
Huh?
That sounds like you made a real friend at the bar.
The officer. Yeah, he seemed like a pretty good guy at the end.
I was being sarcastic about the bartender that doesn't like you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know why you would try to bar someone that eats there 5-6 days a week. I live right down the street, literally. And that's the only place I go to. And I don't get drunk in there, so I have 3 or 4 beers. I'm not a drunk, I'm not... I don't have any reports of me being drunk or belligerent or crazy down here ever, Been here a year. By people because people don't like to hear the truth, and that's all it is.
So you got that one resolved then, sounds like.
That was resolved at that point in time, and then on the 26th, I got back here like 2 weeks before the 26th. I've been eating and drinking at that bar. My 30-day ban was gone, supposedly, you know. No other bartenders, and I stayed away from the bar manager, but she was there on a Friday. She's always there on a Friday, and my friends do go on a Friday, but I usually avoid it. But, you know, I just wanted to talk to this girl that was just in town. Her dad owns the Airbnb down there, and I wanted to talk to her, really. You know, so I go in there, I put my scooter down, and put the kickstand down, and the bouncer, Bill, tells me, which is also Christine's wife, that I'm barred for life. I said it was a 30-day ban. He's like, no, the owner doesn't want you here no more. I picked up my scooter and I left. You know, I said, just don't bar me from the sidewalk. You can't bar me from the sidewalk. We're cool. I won't come here no more. And I left. But then a friend of mine heard it and said, Justin, I think that's wrong. Here's the owner's number. I called the owner that night. I said, hey, I'm barred from your bar. I've been there for a year and a half. I don't cause any problems. I had a 30-day ban. I told him the whole story, right? He's like, I've never heard of you. I was like, so I'm not barred. I was like, that makes sense because I've been eating there and drinking there for 2 weeks just lately. And at the time I go in there, the bar manager and her husband want to make something of it again. You know, I'm not there to cause any problems. I never was, never will be. You know? So then I leave. I come back because another friend buying a couch off me and my buddy. And we had to deliver it. And, we already did deliver it, so there was something going on with the money. So she had to call her girlfriend when she come back out. She went back in. My buddy went down the street for a little bit, and he was coming back. And Christine comes out, the bar manager, and starts antagonizing me. Telling me, I know you think you're being cute. You're nothing but a fucking asshole. You're this and that. And I said, listen, Christine, this is taxpayers. I'm just standing up for my rights to be here, and I'm talking to somebody. I have business here. I was like, you can't stop that. And then I was like, I'm a taxpayer. She was like, you don't pay taxes. And then she starts belittling me. So I started belittling her back. And her husband comes out, pushes me on video that the police did get. It shoves me off the sidewalk, swings like 4 or 5 times at me, picks me up and slams me, and then continually tries to pound me off the sidewalk, you know, while 2 people are on his back. Some of my friends, 3 girls were on his back, you know, and trying to get him off me, you know. And then they finally get him off me. And then I got another guy grabs me, a patron, probably just some guy traveling, you know, or a tourist. And he grabs me because I seen him having fun. He fed the bartender and the bouncer a couple shots while I was there, standing there even. And I never seen him before, so I figured he's probably just a tourist. And he grabbed me from behind. I didn't know who it was. And they started choking me in a full Nelson, dragged me across the street. I hip tossed him. I said, "What the hell are you doing? Who are you? Are you a cop? What are you?" He said, "No." And I said, "You're in trouble then, buddy. And you're obviously drunk." He put his hand through his hair and he's like, "Oh man, I messed up." I said, "Listen, I'm just going to leave right now. I'm in some pain. I don't want any trouble." I was like, "I don't believe you should have any trouble either, you know." And I left. And then I called the police the next day. Called dispatch. I said, "I got to go to the hospital. I'm in a lot of pain." I was like, "But I do got to get this report to you guys, you know, in the morning." So I met over at the Speedway with 2 officers. I do need their names. I will get that in the report. I did FOIA that also. But I forget their names. And they came there. Basically, everything was subjective that came out of their mouth that could be argued, which I didn't want to hear. And I kept on telling them, can we stick to the facts and stick to the law, the objective? I don't need I don't need a morals or anything else or any other conversation other than what's going on with the law. That's all I wanted, okay?
Sure.
That pissed them off even more, you know? So, like I said, all I'm doing is telling the truth at this point in time. And he got all mad, and I even said it on their body cams. Look, he's pissed off. He's mad. I didn't mean to make him mad. And they were like, "Why didn't you make the report last night?" I was like, because me being me, with the adrenaline rush that I get, I was like, You guys would have hated my guts last night. I probably would have ended up in jail. You know?
Yep.
I was like...
You get pretty hot pretty fast.
Yeah. So I tried to, you know, just be calm as I possibly can and do that. Yep. And even in there, I was still calm and still saying yes, sir, no calling name, no nothing, you know? And they told me to call second shift.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So
I'm assuming maybe that's to talk to the folks who actually dealt with you.
Nobody dealt with me. Who dealt with me?
To talk to second shift about making the complaint about the guy that attacked you? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, they're trying to say call it. Well, I thought every time I call it, every time somebody called, there's a report that needed generated and you need to investigate at that point, correct?
Uh-huh.
Am I right?
Well, yes and no, but delayed reporting, we typically keep those over the phone.
You report a felony over the phone, and I tried doing that with dispatch. I said I can't do this over the phone. That night I called the police when it happened, and they said I needed to do... They when I called that night, they said I couldn't do it over the phone.
Well, if it's a felony battery, no, you can't do it over the phone. I mean, that's something that we want to see if you're injured, take pictures, do all that.
Okay, but even if then, even before I went to the hospital, and they seen that my arm was swollen and everything else, they only wrote it up as a simple assault until I went to the hospital and got medical records saying I got 3 broken ribs, a herniated stomach, and my elbow was so swollen that I needed a half cast on it.
Right. Well, and we make sure that all the stuff gets to the investigating officer. So
I called him that day from the hospital. I said, I've been here for 7 hours. They're going to release me in like an hour. I was like, when are you going to go pick this guy up? He said, well, it's only written up as a simple assault. I said, so you can go get the guy, you didn't press any charges. Like, no, that's up to the state. I said, well, no, why would you do that? I was like, so I showed it. Next day he has me, I'm in pain. I don't take any pills or drugs, okay, for my pain. I go there for an hour. I'm at Speedway talking to the Corporal Campbell about my medical records. He's questioning me on medical records, questioning me on the law, he's questioning me on a bunch of other things. You know, it clearly states I got 3 broken ribs, a herniated stomach, and a busted elbow, and somehow he's still trying to pin shit on me. Okay? I said, we ain't doing this. You're going to get him, right? And he said, yeah. Lied right on body camera. Then last week I have district attorney calling me, swearing me in. I said, is this guy in jail? He said, no. I said, do you have charges on him? He said, no. I said, why not? I've been lied to by the corporal. So I want that. That's on body camera. I want that dealt with for lying to me.
Going after him means that he follows up.
No, are you going to get him to put him in jail? That's what I said. He lied straight. Nope, listen, it's on body camera. There's no cops planning around that.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right.
Just trust me when I tell you.
What else can I do for you today? Because it sounds like you're on the right track. You've made the records request that you need to do. And
I'm getting this on record for internal affairs now to handle this and deal with this also, because there was only a report was generated. The cops didn't want to make a report to begin with, which is also against policy. Well, you're gonna have to do some stepping. Your police station definitely needs to do some stepping up. You're being very professional, and as you could see, when people aren't acting up, cop-splaining and do that type of stuff, and just be real with me instead of trying to explain things away that makes no sense. I will get angry, okay? Especially when I'm physically damaged from the last time the police beat me. Hold on. Let me finish. Especially when I've been damaged by the police the first time being illegally pulled over on that motorcycle and my arm removed from my body for a traffic stop, okay? Then a handcuff key was placed in my wallet because they didn't like the way I talked to them, okay? And that added up to a felony of $5,000, okay? Then them trying to pin a DUI on me, which they eventually dropped because they knew the cameras proved everything that I did. We didn't have a DUI, okay? Then you've got all these other things, that, like the boat being pulled over. My buddy slammed into a dock or something at a storm, and the cops lied for 2 hours, tried to get my ID. Why do you think I don't want to give you guys my ID and find out who I am if I just got beat up for you? And I have a 4th Amendment right, correct?
Well, if you want us to take a report for you, then yes, we need to see your ID.
No, they came out for a report of my buddy's boat slammed. I was helping him. They want my ID. That's what they took the bond away for when I was out on bond for them removing my arm from the motorcycle.
Oh, this is from a while ago.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about all these things are starting to add up. Where it's like, come on, man, you really think in a year and a half all these things have happened and I caused them? I'm injured for life. My arm is like 1.5 inches out of my body hanging there in nerve damage. Okay, I need surgery and I don't have any recourse. Because I went through you guys, didn't do anything about it. I have hospital reports and everything I gave the guy.
Yeah.
Now the FBI is now on this case as of a few days ago. Okay.
Okay. But this is one of the cases that you're inquiring about, correct?
Yes. But mine is, I want all the other, anything else wasn't reported, all the other things, and they should, I want to go through you and at least get that documented. And then I also want to make a complaint that the police officers showing up not doing their job. I mean, telling them how to do their job, and then they have to do it and then get mad about it.
Okay.
And then the way they acted, their demeanor, all of that, it has to be, listen, you guys have body cameras now. And I'm going to put that up, and this is what I'm going to do. If that district attorney, you better call Jay Patel because he won't call me back and tell me better press charges because I'm friends with a bunch of these First Amendment auditors online. I talk to them. I watch them all the time. I subscribe. I share. I do all that for them, okay? And they have no problem when I get all these body cameras and all this footage that I have and put it together in a nice little story to be running it. About 40,000 people an hour will see it. And you know how many calls is going to be generated? You're going to have to hire somebody else to answer your phone.
Yeah, we get them all the time, sir.
Yeah, so this is going to be big, because this has been
You're
going on
mad
for
at-
quite a while, and I'm injured for life.
Right. So here's what I need you to do. You gave me some homework, but I'm going to give you some homework too, is that once you get a hold of the files that they send you, if you're missing things, then that's the list I'm going to need to have, so that I can do whatever digging I can do on my end to answer the questions that you have, or the concerns, or address the concerns that you have. I just don't know what's there that you're referring to that could be missing. So until you get that stuff,
What's missing is it's easy to see that these officers showed up, didn't want to take a report, and they were trying to cover up the 24-hour loop on that video. That's my bad. They asked me, like, what do you want us to do? Go get the fucking video evidence. That's pretty fucking obvious. Because I made them. And then they got pissed off about it and only wrote a report instead of going to get the guy. They're mad that I told them how to do their job. And then they don't want to fully follow through with it. This guy's still running around, man. What if he hurts me? What if I walk past there and he hurts me?
do you have the report number from that incident?
Yes, I do. Hold on.
Alright. Now I'll take a quick peek at that and just see where everything's at. Justin, spell your last name for me.
N-Y-A-R-I.
N-Y-A-R-I. I always want to put an E in there, and I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah, everybody does that.
Right. I knew it didn't look right. Okay. And this phone number, while you're digging for that, this hold on.
727-766-2889.
766-2889 is a good number to contact you back at?
Yes.
Okay.
And then if you want to state any emails or anything else, like the records that I should be having of why you aren't handling any of these issues your office isn't, I'd like to have that. And you can email it to me at JUSTIN.
The problem is I can't release those. They have to go through public records so that they know who the records are referred to. So I can't just scan them and send them to you. I apologize.
Well, these records were never sent to me.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you did the records request. That's how we document who gets the records and if names need to be redacted.
But I thought when a report was generated by an opposing party, it would have to be a reason why you're not doing it, and had to be generated through the report that would be sent to me. Like, isn't there, like, we're not handling this and blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody, the lieutenant had to find out exactly what is his name. Lieutenant Dean, badge number 5580. He had to call the district attorney's office to find out that they are not pressing charges.
Okay.
So if I were you, I'd call Jay Patel and be like, I press charges because you guys are going to have a huge problem on your hands.
Well, sir, I wish that I had that kind of pull.
Well, I would call him up and just be like, this is what this guy's going to do, man. Like,
yeah, well, we get these kinds of things, unfortunately, all the time because people aren't whatever, and you know, I mean, you do what you need to do for you. We will accommodate the best that we can in your requests. And
I'm still injured, and I still have nothing. They're saying they're going to do nothing. So any of these parties kicking me off a public sidewalk, beating me up, the police beating me up, the side being removed from a public sidewalk twice, now beat up for being on the same public sidewalk because the officers did notify them that they don't own the sidewalk. Corporal Campbell even admitted on body camera that he messed up, or that they were misinformed of what the law was. Yeah, by the fucking police.
Do you have that report number, guy?
Yeah. It is CW21-147474.
All right, I'm in the middle of, you're my 8th phone call right now, and I've got 2 more to go before I can even start digging into stuff, but give me a day or 2 so I can kind of dig into this and see what I can find out for you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.